This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Go to www.financiallyfit.business to grow your business profitably, build wealth, and analyze your monthly financial statement in less than 10 minutes a month. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you today. Getting the phone to ring is critical to generating revenue. And I mean phone calls from your current customers and potential customers. What are the latest online trends and what platforms should you use to drive those phone calls? My guest today, John Victoria, founder of Pollyanna, wrote the book, 5 Secrets None of Your Competitors Know That Will Win You More Customers. You can download it free from his website, Pollyanna.com, and the website will also be in the show notes. John, welcome to Contractor Sense.
Ruth, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. So it's really interesting because people say, okay, we need the phone to ring, but we need the phone to ring with the right people, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can get spam calls all day, but that's really not going to grow your business. So how do you get the right types of people calling in for the right types of jobs that'll actually grow your business? That's the name of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a phone call from your mother, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, or a salesperson trying to sell something. Now, I don't have any problems with that because we also have salespeople who sell. But the reality of the situation is we want more people and more potential customers calling in than salespeople.
Yes, 100%.
So cool. So talk a little bit about Pollyanna and how you got started before we dive in.
Sure. So Pollyanna, we are a digital marketing company for the trades. We started out as an SEO company, so focusing on Google search, getting people to the top, ranking on Google Maps. And since then, we've extended our services to doing paid advertising as well as email marketing services. And so, I started, this was about 7 years ago, and was a completely different line of work. I was actually in the military following the footsteps of my dad. And so it was a complete radical shift. I wanted to work in the private sector, really help businesses grow. And really, that's how Pollyanna was founded.
Gotcha. So you decided you didn't want to be in the military anymore, and you wanted to do something that would be really cool for small businesses. And this was it.
This is it.
Very good. All right. Now, I know 7 years ago, technology was very different than it was today, or than it is today. So I would imagine that some of the platforms you used 7 years ago, we wouldn't even mention today. It's like mothballed.
Yes.
Is mothballed the right word?
Yeah, no, a lot of things are outdated. I mean, the rapid pace of change of technology, it's crazy. For the hot topic now is artificial intelligence and ChatGPT. That's been the latest craze, currently happening right now. But for contractors, I've seen a lot of them use it in their business to help streamline their operations. But in terms of marketing, there's 2 trends that I'm seeing that are emerging that is really profitable in terms of driving the right types of phone calls to the business. I'd say number 1, the first thing is if you are not signed up for a Google Maps or a Google Business.
I lost you. Go ahead. I lost you.
Oh, sorry about that. But yeah, Google Maps profile. So
wait. Let's start. If you are not signed up for Google Maps, go ahead.
Okay. So if you are not signed up for Google Maps, this is something that you need to be signed up for. So been reviewing some research and some studies, and we found that 60 to 80% of closed revenue from search engines actually comes from your Google business profile. And so getting that up, getting that ranked, and getting that driving the phone calls, the keywords in terms of what's actually leading to closed revenue for the business. And so that's platform number 1. Platform number 2, we're seeing a lot of great results for is SMS marketing. So there was a study, it was done by the Data Driven Trades as well as Chirp, which is another platform in the space. And they saw a 300 times return on investment through SMS marketing. That simply was following up with estimates and following up with leads, just lead follow-up. And it's insane. Like the open rate for text messages, it's over 95%. And so in terms of what platforms can drive more business to you, Google My Business, it's a very strong contender, and also just maximizing your pipeline marketing.
So you're in this situation. I'm 4 or 5 years ago. You had to get permission to text. Do you still have to do that, or is that why I'm getting all this text spam these days?
If a company's doing it the right way, they do need to get permission from their database to do all the texting. But yeah, that's definitely one of the compliance things. They're becoming very strict on that because of how much spam is coming out, actually. So yeah, before you do SMS marketing, make sure to get the consent of the people that you are messaging.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting part about that is that texting is, people are paying attention more so to their text than they are even to email. So if somebody is calling to follow up on a sales quote or a proposal that they've submitted, people don't answer their phones anymore. Are you finding that?
Yes, especially the new generation of homeowners that are hopping to the scene. People aren't picking up phone calls, and so texting, the open rate, it's huge. It's like over 95%. People are getting them. And for email marketing, you send stuff out, and the challenge with it is that you can get blacklisted. It can end up in spam, and so the marketing messages that you want to send out and you're thinking are being received are not. And so texting, SMS is just so huge to get to your customers' lead follow-up and estimate follow-up.
Yeah. All right. Just FYI for everybody, my daughter is a millennial. She's 34 years old. She hates being on the phone. If I need to talk to her, I have to text her first and say, can we talk? So
yeah,
that is the latest generation. They do not get on the phone. And, and they're homeowners. They buy the stuff. I mean, they're our perfect target market for right now. So I assume that Generation Y or Z, which is coming up and coming out of college now or starting to, I assume they're going to be the same way or not? Or do you know?
Only time can tell, but I would assume so. Just the amount of screen time that we're seeing with these younger generations is just increasing. It's increasing with social media, with their phones, with texting, with the internet, and a lot less people are hopping on the phones. And so, and I guess the other trend I'll mention too is being able to book a job directly on the website. So instead of having to talk to someone or even having to text someone, what if someone could just pull up a calendar, pick a time, and this is the ideal time that I want to get called, or this is the time I'd like for someone to come out to our home. Yeah. So these ways of reducing the friction, what I call the Amazon principle. The Amazon, one click to purchase something. This is what we're trending towards. How can we reduce the friction? How do we just make it as simple as possible for someone to get on the schedule?
Very good. Now, before we take a break, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Sure. You can go to our website, Pollyanna.net. That is POLIANNA.net. And you can also email me at john@Pollyanna.net.
Very good. And we will be right back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense.
All righty.
Many times, relatives are recruited to do your company's books without knowing how to do the books. Or you hire a bookkeeper who really doesn't know bookkeeping. If this is you, then your books are probably inaccurate. You probably pay more taxes than you should, and you rarely look at a P&L and balance sheet because you know they are wrong. What do? Have your bookkeeper enroll in Ruth King's Contractor Bookkeeping Basics. After completing this online course, your bookkeeper will know bookkeeping. You'll get accurate financial statements that help you make good business financial decisions. To enroll, click on the link in the show notes or call us at 770-729-0258. Enroll today.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I am speaking with John Sorry, I'm starting that again. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm speaking with John Victoria, who is the founder of Pollyanna, a digital marketing company who helps you get more customers to pick up the phone. But right before the break, we started talking about the fact that one of the latest trends is people don't want to talk. They want to just be able to go to your website and schedule a call. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. And just be able to book directly on the website. That's, the more ways we can reduce the friction to booking, the better. Another feature that I will share, and this really is not out for 99% of folks right now, is a feature that Google is coming out with where your Google listing pops up. There will be a feature so that someone can schedule onto your calendar. So they don't even need to go to your website. They just need to see your Google My Business listing, and then they can book directly. So right now, this currently exists mostly for restaurants. So, if you've ever, it's a Friday night, you want to go on a date night, and you want to book for a restaurant reservation for 7 p.m., you can do that. But they haven't been doing that for the home service industry. This is a new feature that's rolling out. It's currently accessible to only a handful of businesses right now in the home service industry, but over the next 3, 6, 9 months, it's going to be a feature that is rolled out for more customers. So that's another exciting thing, but also it's just in line with that trend of reducing the friction for booking a job or getting some service.
So I assume that people are going to end up needing Gmail accounts.
For this one, actually, I think you can sign up without a Gmail account. You can just book straight in, just like, hey, this is the business, schedule, go in, you submit an email. It could be a Gmail, but just books normally as long as you have an email and possibly a phone number and your name.
Okay, cool. That will be good. We'll start looking for that coming out of the restaurant industry into our home services industry. So let's assume, we're talking about those 3 things that are coming up right now, but where do you see most contractors are with their current platforms, or most people are still picking up the phone, right? That you're seeing.
Yes, a majority is still the phone. In terms of percentage, I'd probably put it in terms of lead generation, it's around 60 to 70% of the leads that are qualified are still coming from the phone. So the trend hasn't completely shifted yet. There are openings like for text and web chat, but still a large majority is still coming in from the phone.
All right. So a lot of times when you go to websites now, you'll see over on the right, there's a chat bot of some way, shape, or form. Now, I assume that that's what's going to be used to schedule calls eventually, correct?
Yes. And one cool feature that we're seeing now as well is combining that with artificial intelligence. And so one thing that we're working on internally is that, okay, what if you don't have a human to actually staff that chatbot to respond? Currently, right now, we're testing this project where we're combining OpenAI or ChatGPT and responding to customers real time and qualifying them. So, can ask them, what's their service area? What problem are they facing? When do they need someone to come out by? All these problems can be pre-qualified without actually having a human to staff that chatbot. And so I think it will lean more towards that. And I think there will be opportunities with artificial intelligence to cut down on costs as well as improve customer service and timeliness or speed to lead.
Well, yeah. So you've got that piece of it. And then you've got their answers, which have to match or marry the technical capabilities of your team. So if AI can marry that becomes very, very powerful.
Yes. And we are so excited for that because it really frees your team up to just do the work that they're best at. And so instead of having to, qualify, if it's a straightforward process, how can we free up that time so we can work on more of the impactful parts of the business that someone else might want to work on? So we're very, very excited for that.
It will be very interesting when it comes out. I'm seeing all this conversions, and you're just confirming everything that is starting to converge and make it easier for everybody, including the customer, and make it easier for the customer to buy, which is the important thing.
Yes. And there's plenty of studies that show just speed to lead, the amount of time it takes for you to respond to a new customer inquiry. If you wait 10 minutes, it's just a dramatic drop in terms of how likely they are to close. And so if you have something that's working 24/7 that does the things that you need it to do, you can get a customer response in less than a minute. And that will inevitably increase the profits and the growth of your business. And so, a lot of great efficiencies that are coming up.
Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Okay. In the last few minutes that we have together, let us tempt everybody with a little bit of the 5 secrets none of your competitors know that will win you more customers. And it's a free book, right? That you can download, correct?
Yes, we have the free book, and we also have a physical book, the HVAC Marketing Machine, which is actually it was a bestseller on Amazon. So I'm also happy to send that to anyone who's interested.
Okay. So curiosity, would you mind sharing one of them before I let you go?
Yeah, it's a lot of it we mentioned already. So we talked about SMS. We've talked about Google My Business. But I think maybe just to dive into one trend that's emerging with Google My Business, it's that proximity plays a huge factor in whether or not you show up for a customer or not. And so one secret that I would like to share is that if you are able to open up a satellite office, somewhere else in your city of where you want to get more customers from, you are going to benefit tremendously because proximity is such a big factor of whether or not you show up. And so if you have one GMB, that's fine. But our best customers, they have 3, 4, 5 GMBs, and they are all lead generators for them to drive more phone calls to their business. And so definitely, if you can do it, I would try to set up an additional office for that additional GMB.
And you need a physical mailing address to do that, correct?
Yes, physical. And ideally, it is a commercial space. In the past, folks have used UPS addresses and co-working spaces. Sometimes those don't work, but if you can get a true space that can be used and Google doesn't have issue with it, that'll be perfect for this listing.
So make a deal with a plumber in your area or an HVAC guy in your area for a plumber, or an electrician, or a pool and spa guy, or whomever, a lawn care guy.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
and that will help you do that. Cool. All right. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I'd say that, as we're moving towards the future, just continue to keep track of the technology. It is moving at a very rapid clip. I would recommend, the data-driven trades that the publication I mentioned earlier, lots of good information in there. Second, we also, have a lot of great resources. I also have a podcast, HVAC Financial Freedom, lots of great information and interviews. And really just, I'd say just get involved with the mastermind group, get involved with peers who are also looking to grow their business. That's really the customers of ours that have grown the most. They are usually involved in one of these organizations to grow their business. And so there's nothing that beats being surrounded by peers, going after a similar goal, that camaraderie, and really that best practice sharing across each other's companies that'll really take your business to the next level.
Sounds good. John Victoria website is Pollyanna.net. And you can download the 5 secrets none of your competitors know that will win you more customers, or HVAC what?
The HVAC marketing machine book.
Okay, cool. John, thanks so much for being with us.
Awesome. Thanks, Ruth. Thanks, everyone.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email ruthking@hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.